Hi, and welcome to Discover Oklahoma. I'm Lauren Nelson.
And I'm Dean O'Lally. Today we're coming to you from the Museum of Osteology in Oklahoma City, and I got to tell you, this is one of my favorite places.
This is a really cool place to come and explore for a little bit. Located on Sunny Lane Road in Oklahoma City, just south of I-240, this museum is home to over 300 skeletons from all corners of the world. It's a popular place for school field trips when kids are learning about skeletal systems. We'll show you around throughout the show. But first, we're going to do a little exploring underground.
Photojournalist Casey Kennedy takes us to the Cave House in Tulsa.
Once I come in that door, my heart's full. My heart is home. Growing up here in Tulsa, I am a pure Tulsa girl, never leaving this place. I love Tulsa, and so along my life I have gathered little bits of information or maybe little artifacts like the parking meter and different things that once I bought this cave house, I realized that God was just training me to be the cave woman all my life because all those things became relevant, part of the stories or part of the decor. The cave house was built actually in 1926. It opened. During the day it was a restaurant. During the evening there was a speakeasy under the hill. 21 years ago it was in Tulsa's paper, highlighting it as a landmark, and since I'd always been obsessed with it, I saw that was my perfect opportunity to look inside. The moment I walked in the door, I knew I was supposed to own it. People love, love, love the stories. There's some pretty quirky, sometimes humorous, mixed with some history. And so really, I have people sign the guest book as they're leaving, and I ask them to share what their favorite part is. The stories are number one by far. People really love the decor. It's a bit quirky, and I'm a bit of a recycler. A whole lot of wonderful people have owned this place, so there are a lot of stories about people like the Key Woman and the Rag Woman. The Key Woman. She would take your keys out of the car. She would put them on her key ring, hop on her bicycle, and ride off into the sunset. Upstairs there is a room, kind of a porch room that's full of plants. I call that Ella's room because the rag lady's name was actually Ella, and she liked to hang out up there. She actually wore a lot of layers of fabric. She would go around and shopping in everybody's trash. She would gather bottles and jars because she canned goat's meat and was generous and would hand that out. She was also Ma Loan because she loaned people money. They actually had a lot of treasure buried all over the property. This is actually my favorite room. When I'm over here hanging out, this is the place I'm hanging out. It's like a tree house up here. I have actually filled this place with the things that remind people of the history, of the Rag Woman, of the Key Woman, obviously. But I tell people when you go through here, if something here doesn't mean something that's relevant to one of the stories, that means it means a lot to me or someone that donated it to me. There are keys everywhere. It's a big part of the cave house. It's so interactive. I actually have people from all over the world that have brought me keys when they come on a tour. Part of owning the cave house isn't just telling the stories. It's about listening to other people's stories. And so I have all this connection with people through their stories. This is on bucket list. And so people come over that are fighting some hard battles or are passionate about something, and they're able to share with me. And so I really am the most blessed woman people will ever meet because of the people I meet and the stories that they share with me. I have a lot of people from Oklahoma City. I have a lot of people from Kansas City. I have people from Texas. It just blows me away that people come, and this is the reason they came to Tulsa, Oklahoma, was to see the cave house. Everybody's love. Everybody leaves a little love behind. So you can soak up the cave house love and then leave a little of your own behind. And I believe that's what people feel when they come over.
Tours of the cave house are available by appointment. You'll find the house at 1623 West Charles Page in Tulsa. Check out their website, cavehousetulsa.com, for more information.
There's really a lot to see and learn at the Cave House.
There sure is, but if you're out to take in some of the real beauty of our great state, you're going to need to head to the Chickasaw National Recreation Area in Sulphur. Jennifer Reynolds takes us there.
On the days we visited Chickasaw National Recreation Area in Sulphur, nature decked out the skies for us. But even this splendor is just a sideshow to what has drawn humankind here down through the ages.
For over 7,000 years, mankind's been coming and using this water.
bracingly cold and clear as glass, some mineralized but mostly sweet, the water boils out of the upthrust remnants of an ancient seabed in the millions of gallons each day.
Well, this is Antelope Springs, and as you can see, the water is flowing right out from the base of the rocks right there. You know, water essentially means life, and these waters flowing year-round in those cold 62 to 64 degrees year-round. You can imagine how important a permanent source of water was like that.
This geologic legacy was inherited by the Chickasaws and Choctaws after their removal to Oklahoma. They prized this bounty greatly and turned the springs over to the National Park Service to make certain these wholesome waters and their sublime setting would always be accessible to all. What a gift. More than 1 million people from around the world visit each year. Some still come to taste the beneficial waters, but many more simply drink them up with their senses. Even the sound is healing. The Travertine Nature Center provides an educational gateway to the park and the access point to a short walking trail along sweet, spring-fed Travertine Creek that takes you to both Antelope and Buffalo Springs. The shady pool here was built in the 30s by Oklahoma's largest civilian conservation corps unit to gather and contain the spring waters that otherwise would seep up in a muddy bog.
And they kind of essentially just put their arms around those springs and channeled the water to this area, and of course it flows out.
And like a giant champagne glass, the CCC's aquacultural creation allows the spring's naturally carbonated waters to bubble up in an endless toast to their hard work and ingenuity. When I was a girl, this was still Platte National Park, the smallest in the park system, the 7th oldest, and the only national park in our state. In its early years, Platte boasted higher attendance than either Yellowstone or Yosemite. Beloved but lacking in grandeur, it was combined with the newly built Arbuckle Recreation Area in the 70s to create the current 10,000-acre park, which now offers boating on Lake of the Arbuckles, picnicking, 6 campgrounds with 400 campsites, 20 miles of recreational trails, and free admission. Keep your eyes open. Deer are everywhere, watching you, watching them. And winter is actually a great time to visit. The park's a little quieter and the wildlife more visible. We found Austin and Mary Solenberg of Lawton savoring a peaceful morning by Lake of the Arbuckles. They earned a little rest today after hiking a good part of the Chickasaw trails yesterday, which they say are the most well-maintained they've seen.
We climbed Roman Mountain yesterday and got up to the viewpoint and looked out from there and sat there for a while and just kind of took it all in.
It was magical, but it was a lot of work.
Mary Solenberg says accessibility, which again was the goal of the tribes from the outset, is still what makes this park so magical.
Now, I think about people who might be in a wheelchair or who might have like some type of disability, and I feel like those people could even access the areas, which is phenomenal.
The Veterans Lake Trail is completely wheelchair and stroller accessible, and it is just the place to finish off your visit to the park, walking quietly or happily settled onto one of the many resting places along the trail, where you can imbibe a most intoxicating nightcap as evening settles in over one of Oklahoma's loveliest natural treasures. At the Chickasaw National Recreation Area, I'm Jennifer Reynolds for Discover Oklahoma.
You can find more information to plan your trip to the Chickasaw National Recreation Area on the Oklahoma Tourism website, travelok.com. There are over 400 campsites available for reservations, along with several dozen RV spots.
Coming up on Discover Oklahoma.
I love to show the kids, and I tell them that a ghost is playing it, and then I open it up and let them see how it works.
See what else has folks from all over the world stopping off at this spot in Shawnee.
I'm coming back, and I live 100 miles one way, so.
Plus, see the place where no one minds making a long drive just to pick up lunch.
I love it when you see grandkids coming in with their grandparents and they're both finding their own things to buy and shop for.
And the little shop where all ages love to stop. We'll take you there a little bit later right here on Discover Oklahoma.
In the land of wonder and awe, you won't believe you see what you saw. Where there's something to do for young and for old, where stories are written and then they're retold. Visit travelok.com today. Come see for yourself and come out to play.
Welcome back to Discover Oklahoma, coming to you from the Museum of Osteology in Oklahoma City. So much to see and learn about at this facility. Winter really is a great time to get out in Oklahoma and explore some of these indoor attractions.
Absolutely, and another museum that you need to visit, especially if you're into history, is the Pottawatomie County Historical Museum. Come along with me now to Shawnee and let's take it all in. This 1910 player piano and the music it plays are both reflective of another, more simpler time.
I love to show the kids, and I tell them that a ghost is playing it, and then I open it up and let them see how it works.
The piano is just one of several artifacts found at the Pottawatomie County Museum in Shawnee, a place to engage and educate. The building itself was put on the National Registry of Historic Places in 1974.
But we have people come from every country all the time to see this, and most of them think it looks like a lighthouse in the middle of Oklahoma. You know, that's one of the most common things, I guess, is that they say, well, boy, this building is really unique. And it is. It's one of the most unique depots that's in the country.
The depot was built in 1904. The museum opened May of 1982. And over the years, they have worked hard to collect, preserve, and share various artifacts that define not only America, but more specifically Oklahoma and Pottawatomie County.
We have a 1918 Model T pickup. We have the 1904 St. Louis World Fair horse they sold tack in a local hardware store. Just lots of old household items, hundreds of maps. We have a lot of art pieces, just about anything. If you like history, military area, a lot of railroad stuff, of course, but just about anything.
Here's the scoop from what seems like all the ancient ways we used to communicate, from telephones, for instance, cameras, photos, making clothes, going to the dentist, even dishes, dolls, miniatures, and more. The museum provides context and information. The museum will conjure up memories. Who remembers one of these always catching a child's attention going into a department store? As Mr. Landry said earlier, there's a lot of railroad items here since it used to be a train depot. Consequently, one of the most popular displays is this 1942 scale diorama of downtown Shawnee.
Which depicts about 3 or 4 solid blocks of downtown Shawnee. And every building is based on the old photographs that we have and based on the old city and county directories, exactly where the buildings were. And it's really neat, and that's one of our biggest draws that people come to see, is this diorama.
One artifact I found particularly fascinating is this organ. It was found in the middle of a field after a tornado hit the area in 1924.
Literally just out in the middle of a field by itself with all the damage around and all, and didn't have any damage to it at all. And nobody claimed it, so they gave it to the Historical Society. So a lot of unique stories like that.
And unique displays like a bear the locals grew up with in a local hardware store. The bear was shot in Alaska in 1967. A museum such as this inspires and strengthens a community by reflecting on its past and looking to the future.
We need to preserve our history. If you enjoy history, you'll love coming down here and browsing through this place.
The museum is located at 614 East Main Street in Shawnee. That is near I-40 and Highway 18. They're open from 10 to noon and 1 to 4 Tuesday through Saturdays, closed Sunday, Monday, and all holidays. The suggested donation for admission is $2 per adult. All right, from Shawnee, let's head northeast to the great town of Tulsa.
That's where we'll find a restaurant mostly dedicated to one popular piece of meat. Julie Chin takes us to Siegi's Sausage Factory.
For nearly 40 years, Siegi's Sausage Factory has been serving up handmade, authentic German sausage and meats in Tulsa. James Wimberly is here for the very first time.
I had a knotwurst, bratwurst, and a holland.
And what'd you think?
Great. It has become one of my favorites, instantly.
It's a favorite of Jeff Hutzel's, too. He's a regular.
It's probably the best German cuisine you can get in town.
Sigmund Sommeruk is the Siegi behind it, a fifth-generation sausage maker who moved from Austria to America in 1965. He opened this restaurant with wife Rosie in 1980.
I learned how to make sausage in Austria at home from my dad.
Using family recipes that have been perfected over the years, this is a true family business.
Siegi and Rosie are still here, along with his sons and grandsons, daughters are all a part of the business.
And it's a big business. Siegi's is a restaurant, market, and wholesale company.
We make all of the sausages that we sell in our market and restaurant right here at this location.
That's over 20 different types.
Our main staples are the German sausages, bratwurst, knockwurst, wieners, cheese sausages, and then we also make what I would call sausage around the world. Italian sausage, South African boerewurst, linguiça, andouille, Cajun-style sausage, and the list continues from there.
While the sausages are the top seller, schnitzel is a close second, and there's much more to the menu. You'll find everything from soup to pretzels.
We make a great Reuben. We've been known for that for a long time. Corned beef, sauerkraut, Swiss, and mustard on rye. It's basic, but it's good. Another one would be our Holzfäller, which is potato pancakes with ham and Swiss cheese, and then drizzled with honey. It's very rich, but it's very good.
I always do the sausage platter. Probably my favorite is either the Kobas and Hot Link, or always go for the bratwurst.
Sauerkraut, and we also had the cabbage soup. It's my favorite. I'm a country girl, so cabbage soup and sauerkraut and all that good stuff is home cooking to me.
They haven't even eaten here if they don't do the German fried potatoes. They gotta do this.
Siegi serves lunch and dinner. The restaurant seats about 100 with a banquet room in the back. There's an additional 10,000 square foot building for sausage making and wild game processing. Plus, there's the market. The market features hard to find German lunch meats that are made right here. You'll also find items like delicious noodles and European specialty items too, like chocolate and coffee.
I always do a Landjäger when I come in. It's a German style beef jerky, basically, and I really like to smoke meats, so I always buy all my meats from here, from the market.
Whether taking out or dining in, at Siegi's you'll find a taste of Europe without having to leave Oklahoma.
We try to buy the best cuts of meat, and even when we make sausage, we try to do just good meat, wholesome meat, and trying to do the best on our sausages and meats, and in the restaurant on the meals.
And it's that great quality and service that keeps customers coming back for more.
I'm coming back, and I live 100 miles one way, so.
Absolutely.
In Tulsa, I'm Julie Chin, Discovering Oklahoma.
Siegi's is located at 8104 Sheridan Road in Tulsa. They're open 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. 6 days a week, closed on Sundays.
Coming up on Discover Oklahoma.
You can spend 99 cents on something, or we've got, $300 boots.
Spend a little, spend a lot. We're headed to the place where there's something for every budget.
Well, they're huge for one thing. They're scratch made, and everybody just seems to love them. They just come in and fly off the shelves.
Plus, could it be the biggest cinnamon rolls in southern Oklahoma? We'll check it out when Discover Oklahoma continues.
Whether you love the day or enjoy the night, this is the land of color and light. Cities stretch out and buildings stand tall. Music and games entertain one and all. TravelOK.com has all this. Come see for yourself or you'll miss what you miss.
Welcome back to Discover Oklahoma and the Museum of Osteology in Oklahoma City, home to all sorts of skeletons from tiny field mice to a 400-foot humpback whale. This is a great place for kiddos to come and learn more about the science behind skeletons.
And after the parents or grandparents actually bring them here, they may need a trip of their own.
So how about a trip to the cutest Okie boutique? Tiffany Tatro takes us to Blue 7.
Blue 7 it's a retail store, but we like to say that it's probably the most unique product mix that you've ever seen before. So men's and women's apparel, kids clothing, home and gift items, kitschy things, books, candles, and then we have a whole section called Just OK, and it's all Oklahoma products, whether it's made here or supports the city or the state in one way, shape, or form.
Whatever you're shopping for, chances are you'll find it at Blue 7 in Oklahoma City.
People will come in and then come back the next week and say it's like a whole different store. They discover different things that they didn't see the time before.
From shirts to jeans to novelty gifts and toys for kids. Blue 7 has something for everybody, no matter your age.
I love it when you see grandkids coming in with their grandparents and they're both finding their own things to buy and shop for.
Or your price point.
You could spend 99 cents on something, or we've got $300 boots that are made in Red Wing, Minnesota that probably have a lifetime warranty, just replace the sole every once in a while, so everything in between.
And if you don't find exactly what you're looking for in Blue 7, come into Just Okay and shop all things Oklahoma.
Just Okay is the back section of the store where everything supports the Sooner State.
It's just kind of a fun, unique take on whether it be Thunder apparel or, collegiate OU and OSU things, or just Oklahoma goods in general.
You'll find clothes and hats and gifts and everything Oklahoma, like the best-selling t-shirt that always flies off the shelves.
It's an athletic gray shirt with a big gold Oklahoma shield on it, and we've sold it in lots of different colors. And that gray one, though, for one reason or another, people wear it for 5 years and come back and replace it again. It's just crazy.
And whether you're an OU or OSU fan, they have you covered.
I will say OU sells a little better. I don't know what that means, but we love the Cowboys, we love the Sooners, and support both of them, sure.
So whether you're looking to show your Oklahoma pride or just looking for some one-stop shopping, check out Blue 7 and see what you can find. In Oklahoma City, Tiffany Tatro, Discover Oklahoma.
Blue 7 is located at 7518 North May Avenue in Oklahoma City. They're open 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. every day, but Sunday when they're open noon to 5.
Up next on Discover Oklahoma.
One of our pies is a family recipe that we've had in the family for about 25 years.
And wait until you hear what they put in it. We'll try a slice when Discover Oklahoma continues.
Want to discover even more about the show? Go online and watch Discover Oklahoma anywhere, anytime. Catch up on missed episodes, track down interesting locations, and submit your own story ideas. Start exploring today at discoveroklahomatv.com.
We've had a great time today exploring all of the skeletons here at the Museum of Osteology in Oklahoma City.
I really think this is a fascinating place, but you know what our next stop needs to be?
Yes.
Of course, I'm thinking lunch.
I agree. So let's head to the Red Bandana in Sulphur.
In downtown Sulphur, there's a new spot to stop for breakfast, lunch, or something sweet, and it's worth the drive.
It's just a little small family cafe, as you can see, and we specialize in burgers and sandwiches, cold sandwiches, hot sandwiches, and some desserts.
Brandon Cowan and his wife opened the Red Bandana, naming the restaurant in memory of a late family member.
Zach was her brother. It's her late brother that was killed about 5 years ago. He was in construction and he always carried a red bandana around.
They've been serving up cheeseburgers, sandwiches, and salads so good that it has people coming back over and over again.
It's because the food here is really good and the atmosphere is always nice. You know, people come in and they can sit and visit and have a good time. For lunch, I usually order the Santa Fe.
And what is it?
Well, it's got a hot chili pepper in it. It's got a different kind of cheese on it and a sauce on it that just makes it different than anything I've ever had around Sulphur. We just never had this kind of food here.
Another popular menu item is the green chili. You can get it on fries, burgers, or they dish it out by the bowl.
It's got green chili, cheese, onions, and French fries. It's really good. Makes me come back for it every time almost. I would suggest either ordering this or the green chili hamburger that they have. It's really good too.
That's hers.
That's you? Special. You'll also find daily specials like hamburger steak or pot roast, or you can order a cheeseburger, another one of their best sellers. But be sure to stick around for dessert. The pies, cheesecake, and cinnamon rolls are worth the drive alone.
One of our pies is a family recipe that we've had in the family for about 25 years. It's called a Rocky Mountain chocolate pie, and it's just basically chocolate chips, walnuts, and some other things like a big old chocolate chip cookie. My wife makes pecan pies and some of the chocolate cream pies and things like that. And I make all the cinnamon rolls. They're huge for one thing. They're scratch made and everybody just seems to love them. They just come in and fly off the shelves.
Plan your trip to Sulphur for breakfast, lunch, or just something sweet at the Red Bandana. Delicious comfort food with a friendly, comfortable atmosphere.
It's a friendly atmosphere. People like to come in and visit and talk, and everybody has a good time when they come in.
And no matter where your next road trip takes you, the new Discover Oklahoma Dining Guide will help you find a great place to eat. Just log on to our website, travelok.com, and click Request Free Brochures to get your copy.
A huge thank you to the great folks here at the Museum of Osteology for hosting us this week. A reminder, they're located at 10301 South Sunny Lane Road, just south of I-240 in Oklahoma City. They're open 7 days a week, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 p.m., 11 to 5 on Saturday, and 1 to 5 on Sundays. This is a great idea for field trips or group visits. Give them a call and they can tell you about group discounts on admission.
And coming up next Saturday on Discover Oklahoma, we're headed to Midwest City for a taste of Europe. Don't miss the hot spot with sweet and savory crepes.
And a great idea for Valentine's Day. We'll check out some of the coziest cabins in Medicine Park next week right here on Discover Oklahoma.
So until next time, remember,
there's always something to discover in Oklahoma.